Welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Dee Dee and this is Randy, and we're here at Frederick County Animal Control with some adoptable pets for you to meet and see what you think of. Our first guest today is Bella, and Bella is a pit bull mixed puppy, and she has been with us for a couple of months. And one of the things that we don't often get to show you on the show, which is good, is animals that have been through a hard time. And that is because, contrary to if you watch the news or Animal Cops, which feature only the most horrific stories, you would think that that happens all the time. And actually, it's very rare for people to mistreat animals, and especially rare for people to do it on purpose. And we don't know if that's the case with Bella yet, because she is involved in an ongoing case. So Bella is here at the shelter, and she is going to be available for adoption if, depending on how the court case comes out. But she had a really rough start. So we got her a couple of months ago, very, very skinny, and she has responded very well to a lot of handling and feeding and being in a clean environment. So she's resilient and happy, and has been since the beginning. So we feel that she is going to make a great pet for someone. What she is interested in right now, she's not scared. Bella wants the food that's in Randy's pocket. She's very food motivated, and she likes to have extra food, and she's now hearing the parakeets. But she's a real sweetie, and I think she's going to make someone a really great pet when she becomes available. And we like to feature as many varied histories as we can on the show, just to give you guys an opportunity to learn more about what we do here. And Bella, because she is a pit bull mix, is going to be restricted in some apartment buildings with some private landlords and in some dog parks. So if you want to adopt a dog that is a bully type breed, you have to think about those things. There is also the possibility that, despite all of our dogs are behavior assessed the same way, regardless of breed, there is some possibility that your neighbors could be scared if you get a bully type dog. So you need to definitely be a good steward of pit bulls and bully type dogs and take them to training and put their best foot forward. It is, as we've told you many times, not true that they are different than any other breed. All breeds have their strengths and weaknesses, but dogs are dogs, and big dogs need training and to have good manners. Where are you going, Bella? So if you think you would be interested in a dog like Bella, then please come by the shelter and we'll talk to you about her. We are back with Smoot, and Smoot is an adult 2-year-old pit bull mix. And although Bella is also a pit bull mix, she's never going to be as big as Smoot. Smoot is 2 years old. He is in his prime, and he is taking Randy's fingers off for some pepperoni treats. And Smoot came to us previously owned. You can't tell it by looking at him, but he has a mild heart murmur. So anyone who's interested in adopting him should certainly talk to their doctor about what they would need to do, and it probably will involve, we're not veterinarians, but it probably will involve getting an EKG for him every couple of years as part of his physical, just to make sure that the murmur either goes away, stays the same, and if it gets worse, then obviously he may need to have heart medicine. But I don't know if you can tell by looking at him, this dog does not look like he has a physical thing wrong with him. If he was a human, we would say that he has a six-pack abs. He is a gorgeous, strapping young dog, and has a really great disposition. He bounces back. He doesn't know much, though. Walking on a leash. He will sit a little bit when asked if you have food. He's learning that. And obviously, he's not jumping all over Randy or pulling him out of the chair, which he certainly could do. but he does not sure what all people want. So he will definitely need an experienced owner who can show him how to get attention in positive ways and to take treats more gently. Smoot is available for adoption now at the shelter, but if you adopt him, then we're going to neuter him and microchip him and start him on his shots before you take him home. So that will be a big help in getting him underway. And just like we said with Bella, he is going to need an owner who understands that people are scared of big, fat-headed dogs, and so he'll need to have obedience training and be expected to act like the gentleman that he can be, to set a good example for those people who have bought into the media hype that these dogs are somehow different than other dogs. We are back with our next guest. This is Buster, and Buster is probably the dog that everyone can remember from his or her childhood. He is medium size, he is brown and black, he is shepherdish and beagle-ish and sheltie-ish and corgi-ish and every kind of dog all mixed into one. He's very outgoing, a sweet little puppy. He is only 4 months old, which means he's just old enough to get his rabies shot. And one of the reasons that we don't usually show you puppies on this TV show is that it's so easy for us to find homes for them, as it will be with Buster. But we currently have Bella, Buster, a little Schnauzery mix. We have a Beagle. We have another Pitbull puppy. So we have many puppies in the shelter. So I wanted to remind everybody that even though we don't show puppies every week, we certainly have them. And we encourage people that are interested in getting a family dog to think about getting a puppy, because them growing up in your household means that they're able to adapt to pretty much anything you have to offer. But it does mean that you have to have the commitment to be there for the puppy for about 6 months while they're growing. And one of the things that you can do for puppies is you can consider doggy daycare. And if that seems extreme, then you consider having a neighbor come over and walk the puppy in the afternoon. And the reason we say that is because leaving a puppy alone for the 8 hours that you work plus an hour each way commute will give you a puppy that doesn't have any manners and doesn't do well in exciting situations because they don't have enough experience with that. So we certainly do want people to be able to keep their dogs throughout their lifetime. And one of the things that guarantees that is people who start with a puppy and take them to obedience class. And that makes all the difference in the world, because then your puppy can remain part of your family even when he's big, because he will know what to do and how to act with new people and in strange places. So if you are interested in doing that work from the ground up, then a puppy is going to be the right choice for you. And we can talk to you about how to pick the right one. So if you think Buster is the right one, let us know, because it won't take very long before we find the right home for him. Our next guest is Sweets, and Sweets is a red-eared slider turtle. The reason that the family who was caring for him brought him to us is they said he got too big. And while he is capable of getting much, much larger, what they mean by that is that upgrading the size of the aquarium as needed for a turtle can get expensive. So you need to be prepared or already have the equipment at home to take on a turtle. The one thing people don't know about turtle care is that they absolutely must be able to get completely dry every day. So you need to build your aquarium in such a way that there's a place for the turtle to haul out and lie in complete UV light. The light that comes through windows does not count. It absolutely must be a reptile light or grow light made to have full spectrum so that their shell can stay healthy. Obviously, when turtles live in the wild, they have natural sunlight, so it's very easy for them to dry out every day. And red ear sliders are in Maryland, locally in the wild, but the ones that are born in captivity cannot be released into the wild because they don't know how to take care of themselves. They have no information about where to find food, and because they are driven, you know, they have like little GPSs in their brain, they're driven to return to the place where they were born directionally. So they will just take off for home, crossing roads, going through developments. They may end up in places where there's no water for miles, and they really don't survive if you let them loose if they were born in captivity. As you can see, Randy has placed him on his haul out area so he can get dry if he wanted to. And what we have with this aquarium set up here is we have a screen on top and a light that we can set on top of the screen so that he can bask every day. They're really cute. I personally like turtles a lot because they get to know people's footsteps and voices and get very attached to their caretakers and will even follow you around. So they make very fun pets. One of the reasons that people don't like to have turtles as pets is because the best way to feed a turtle is take him out of the cage every day and give him food in a tub of water, let him eat his fill, and then put him back in his own aquarium. That means you only have to clean the aquarium and do water changes every week or so. If you feed them in their tank, then cleaning is really a lot of upkeep. But that is something, if you buy the proper filters for, that you can certainly manage. I know of someone who built an indoor pond in her basement for her turtle. And it's amazing. It's all built around the stone fireplace. It has a waterfall in it. So if you want to go that crazy with it, you can have a fabulous setup with a little turtle that pops up and says hi every now and again. But Sweets is available now from Frederick County Animal Control. And if you are interested in a turtle, then let us know. Our next guests are some COMET goldfish, and these fish are commonly found in pet stores as feeder fish. While it might be a solution to let them loose in the wild so that we wouldn't have to find a new home for them, just like our turtle, fish that are born in captivity can have different diseases and parasites that fish in the wild are not immune to. So it's not a good idea to let them loose. And we actually really appreciate the property manager in this case because someone moved out and left the fish behind. And so these fish were brought to us by the property manager rather than flushing them or letting them perish. So we really do appreciate someone being that kind to think of little tiny fish that could easily be replaced in a pet store. So one of the things about goldfish is they're quite hardy. They do grow relative to how much they are fed and the size of their tank. So if you are interested in goldfish, you do need to talk to someone at your fish store about how exactly to set them up and how to not overfeed them so that they grow. The other thing is if you end up with one fish that's sizably different than the other, you have to be careful because they do eat other fish. So you need to be careful, and we've offered them a little hiding place because one of the fish is about half the size of the biggest. So we are trying to make sure that he has ways to get away and stay safe in this aquarium. Obviously, this aquarium is tiny on purpose. We are not interested in making these fish get as big as they could. But certainly that is something that, that can be in their future when they have the right setup. So obviously all three fish can be adopted together or they don't have to be. It's up to you. And they say that watching a fish tank lowers your blood pressure. So, you know, what better pet could you have than one that's, you know, better than Lipitor? So if you are interested in having a fish, then please let us know at the shelter. We don't always have them. And actually, you never know what we will have. So coming by the shelter on a whim is a great idea. You never know what you'll see here. And hopefully, we will find somebody who wants to take these fish on. We'll be back after a short break with more adoptable pets from Frederick County Animal Control. Hope you join us.
Before, addiction and depression kept me from living my life. Now, every step I take in recovery benefits everyone. There are many options that make the road to recovery more accessible. It begins with the first step. Join the Voices for Recovery. For information and treatment referral for you or someone you love, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome back. We are back with Jared And Jared is a 10-month-old male black cat with beautiful yellow eyes. And Randy just told me he was a little shy in his cage. He wasn't really sure if he wanted to come be on TV. And he's doing pretty well for that, especially to come into a large room that's differently lighted. It's full of birds and guinea pigs and rabbits, so his nose has to be going a mile a minute for what's going on in this room that he can't see. And he's doing great. He's comfortable. I don't know how many of you guys know this, the cat people know, but the slow blink that he's doing is a way that he is showing his non-interest in being aggressive or running away or anything like that. And some people say that if you catch a cat's eye and blink slowly at them, that it helps relax them and realize that you're the same, that you're not in a hunting mode or interested in doing any harm. So he is letting us know that although initially he wasn't sure about the TV thing, he has now acquiesced and it's okay with him. I really wish we were able to tell them that it promotes them to get a new home so they can get out of here and have their own people and their own place to be. So Jared came to us as a stray cat, and he's not neutered yet, so we'll be taking care of that. We will also microchip him. He has been started on his shots, treated for fleas, given worm medicine. So he is all ready for his new life once we do his neutering surgery, which will be done as soon as someone chooses him to be their very own. So if you are interested in a cat like Jared or any cat, please come by the shelter because we always have plenty and we are happy to help you answer questions about what kind of cat you should get. They are all unique and different. They all have a lot to offer, but we want to make sure that we make really good matches, and with our volunteers' expertise on which cats like which types of activities, we feel like it's a great service for you because you can find exactly the one that you want. You're doing great. We are back with Lucy, and Lucy is a very interesting cat for her coloration. She is what we call tortoiseshell pointed, and what that means is the points on her body, feet, face, ears, and tail, are tortoiseshell colored, and the rest of her body is more beige. That is typical in Siamese cats that you see that are chocolate or lilac point. Another thing she has that's typical of Siamese cats is that she has blue eyes. So we don't actually know her heritage, but calling her a Siamese mix would be perfectly appropriate. And we have her marked down as Torty Point because that's a way that we can tell each other which cat we're looking for. Obviously, we also call her Lucy, and she was formerly owned. The person who brought her in brought in 3 cats, and you're going to be meeting the other 2 in just a moment. They have all lived together. If you would like to adopt more than one cat, then at least you know that these girls have been together before and like each other. In addition, he had them for about 2 years as indoor-only cats, so we also know that they're litter trained and they don't try to get outside. So if you are looking for an indoor-only pet, then you can be guaranteed that these guys aren't going to try to make a break for it. Sometimes people worry about adopting a stray, that they'll be able to make the cat indoors, and I can tell you that almost always stray cats prefer to be inside where it's safe. But if you do have a challenging cat, we could help you with that. And we don't expect that Lucy's going to offer up that problem for you. She is strikingly beautiful. She has settled right in. When she first came over, she was a little nervous. Her pupils were really dilated and she was trying to take in all this change. And she's been through a lot, you know, lived in a house with someone who then gave her to a friend who had her for 2 years, who then brought her here. So lots of changes for a young girl. And since she's only 3, that's her whole life right there. So if you are interested in quite a lovely cat and would be a little patient getting her used to your new place, we recommend putting her in the bathroom for a couple days so that she can get her bearings and get to know you, then let her out in the house so that if anything scares her, she knows to come to you because she knows who you are and that you're safe, kind, and all those good things. So if you think she is right for you or you know someone who might be interested, then please go to petfinder.com and find her picture and share it around, and we will find Lucy the perfect match. We are back with Molly, and Molly and Lucy lived together for 2 years. Molly is a brown tabby. She's 2 to 4 years old, and she's really petite. She hardly weighs a thing. She's a tiny little cat for a grown-up, and she's more shy than Lucy, obviously. Her pupils aren't dilated anymore, but she's thinking about leaving. It can be a little hard for them to be, you know, on a stranger's lap and filmed by a camera with another stranger talking at them. So having them on the TV show is asking a lot, but it also helps to tell you something about their personality in tough situations. It doesn't tell you much about their personality when they're home in their familiar environment with people that they know. Most cats are very comfortable and outgoing with the few people that they accept, and then half of cats, just like people in general, and then there is a small percentage of cats that are just on stage all the time and, you know, party animals. That's more the dog's realm. So because Molly is having a hard time with this, we won't make her stay very long, but I do want you to get to see her and see if you think she would make a good match for you or someone that you know. And if you were interested in adopting Lucy, then you could really do Molly a favor by taking Molly and Lucy together, since they know each other, and Lucy makes Molly feel more brave and comfortable. That might be a good way for you to help them both out. And obviously when you adopt a cat from us, you actually save two, the cat you take and the cat that gets to move into their place on the adoption floor. So imagine this, if you took Molly and Lucy together, you'd be saving 4 cats. So if you are interested in adopting a cat, please come by the shelter and meet the ones that we have. If you think Molly in particular makes a good match for you or someone you know, then please pass her picture around. We are back with Callie, and Callie also came from the same home as Lucy and Molly, and she is a Duluth Calico short hair. She is 6 years old, and that makes her middle-aged for a cat, and all of us have probably experienced moving in middle age. It's not so easy, but we certainly can handle it, and Callie will handle it as well. The reason that Callie, Lucy, and Molly were given up is that their owner, who got them from a friend 2 years ago, who was in a similar situation, had to move to a hotel temporarily, so he can't keep his cats, and brought them here in hopes that we would find them a new place to be. And that, of course, is why we are here. One of the things that we try to educate people about is spaying and neutering. Even though it is expensive, it is more expensive to provide for a litter. So, and if you don't spay and neuter, you're obviously going to have many more than one litter. So it's actually cheaper to spay and neuter. But if you are having financial difficulties doing it, there is a group, United to Save Animals, that can help. There's also a SNAP program. The Frederick County Humane Society doesn't have a shelter, but they do have an annual feline neutering clinic that lets you get male cats neutered, and that is coming up in February. So you can call the Humane Society on Patrick about that if you are interested. But the reason I bring that up right now is that the other reason, spaying and neutering is one reason that we get pets here, because there are unwanted litters. We get 1,200 kittens between April and October every year, tremendous numbers. But the second reason that we get most of our animals, even more than we get unwanted puppies and kittens, is people who cannot keep their pets for the lifetime of the pet. So the most common reasons for that are moving, financial hardship, behavior of the animals. So please, if you are looking forward to some trouble keeping your pet, call us in advance if you can, and see if we can help you so that your pets don't end up here. When we have healthy, friendly pets here, we are almost always able to find them a home. But we often get animals that are not friendly and healthy, and that poses a challenge for us. So we would like to keep pets out of the shelter as much as possible, so that we can use our resources for the few that actually need serious help. And as anyone who's ever tried to rehome an animal has found out, it is not very easy to be sure that you're finding them a safe place, and even to find someone willing to take a secondhand animal. Although 40% of people report that they get their pets from a friend or from someone who no longer wanted the pet. So it's certainly a way people get their pets, and we encourage that. taking on pets so that they don't end up in the shelter. But we also want you to think of the shelter as a place to get a new pet, because we can help you out with having microchipped them, spaying, neutering them, starting them on their shots for you, and giving you documentation of that. So however you get your pets is okay with us, because those are pets that don't come to the shelter, but we certainly encourage you to consider us as a pet source. Our last guest is Clover, and Clover is a dwarf bunny. Although he is young, he's about 10 months old, not quite a year old yet, this is his full size. He's not going to get any bigger. And we do have in the shelter right now 9 rabbits. And while that's not quite a record for us, it is more than the number of rabbit cages we have. So if you have ever thought about getting a rabbit as a pet, now would be the time from our perspective. And of course, we would love for you to come by the shelter and see them, see what you think of interacting with the different bunnies, many different bunnies, and we will talk to you about what they need. Often people assume that a rabbit is a pet you can get for your child that's easier than a dog or cat. And on some levels, that's true. The ways in which they are easier is there are not vaccinations that they need every year, and they don't even get a rabies shot. Another thing that they don't need is to be walked around the neighborhood for exercise. And because they don't go outside, they're unlikely to get fleas, although they can, but they would have to come in contact with, a place that has flea eggs to get them. And you control that by keeping the rabbit indoors. The other thing about bunnies is that because they're small and they're enclosed in a small area, you don't have to worry about things like scratching the sofa or house training. So yes, rabbits can be an easier pet than a dog or a cat. But the ways in which rabbits are more difficult than a dog or a cat is they still need to have a checkup every year. And it's harder to find a rabbit vet than it is to find a dog or cat vet. And so you need to do that in advance. But the other thing is that because people are less familiar with rabbit behavior and rabbit ailments, you have to learn a little bit before you're just naturally going to be able to take care of a bunny. And for one, they eat grass instead of any other kind of food, so they're very inexpensive to feed. But it's really important that you not get caught up with giving them too much treats. It's really fun they'll hop to the front of the cage and take food from your hand, but they have a sensitive digestive tract much like a horse, so they do need to watch what they eat. Also, in order for a rabbit to live a long life, which can be 10 to 15 years, they need to get plenty of exercise. So, since they live in a cage, you have to arrange for time to spend with the bunny, allowing him out of the cage supervised. And the reason they have to be supervised is because most houses are not bunny-proofed. They can go under furniture, behind furniture, things can fall on them, and if they're not allowed to have a lot of exercise, then they won't be fit for it. They're very agile if they're exercised. You can go online and look up the herding bunny on YouTube, or you can look up agility bunnies and see all that they are capable of doing. And if you are interested in a bunny for yourself or for a family, then please let us know. Thank you very much for joining us this week on Pet Pals. If you would like to view previous episodes of the show, there's going to be a link at the bottom of your screen where you can find them. Also, if you've seen any pets today that you like or you know someone would like, then please pass the link around, paste it on your Facebook page, or go to petfinder.com and get still pictures and do the same. There are many ways you can help the shelter even if you can't adopt. We take old pet supplies, bed linens and such, and certainly there are many volunteer opportunities. Just get in touch with us on Rosemont Avenue or at 301-600-1546. See you next time on Pet Pals.